November 2020, which I now declare open. My name is Helen Sui. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Moonee Valley City Council. I will be chairing tonight's council meeting until the election of our new mayor. Although it's not possible for members of the public to join us in person tonight, our meeting remains open to the public via live stream on our website, and I extend a warm welcome to those who are watching. On behalf of the Moonee Valley City Council, I respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodian of the land on which Moonee Valley is located, the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people of the Katrina Nation, and we pay respects to the spirits, ancestors, community members, and elders past, present, and emerging. We also extended this respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Tonight's meeting is being live streamed. A recording of this meeting will also be archived and made available on Council's website. The next item of business on the agenda is apologies. Councillors, I don't believe we have any apologies tonight. Now, does any councillor have a conflict of interest in any item on tonight's agenda? No. Thank you, councillors. Councillors, prior to the election of the mayor, we must consider one report, which is report 4.1, term of mayor and deputy mayor. Councillors, do I have a mover and a seconder for this report? Gonna move Councillor Byrne. Do I have a seconder?
Thank you, CEO. I'm happy to move the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. I got a seconder, Councillor Saipek.
Happy to second that motion.
Thank you. Councillor Byrne, would you like to speak to the motion?
Very briefly, this is just to appoint the mayor for a period of 12 months. Under the Local Government Act, we do have an option to go for 1 year or two years.
Apologies. I'll start again. So this is to appoint the mayor for a period of 12 months. Under the Local Government Act, we do have the option for 1 or 2 years, but historically at Moonee Valley, we have gone with 12 months. And yes, so happy to move the officer's recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Byrne. Councillor Saipek, would you like to speak to the motion?
Nothing further to add.
Thank you, Councillor Saipek. Would any other councillor like to speak to the motion? No? I will put that to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you, councillors. Have this unanimously. The motion is passed. Thank you. Now we now have reached the part of the meeting where council will elect a mayor for the 2020-21 year. In accordance with the council's governance rules, candidates must both be nominated and receive a seconder. Under the Local Government Act 2020, a candidate for mayor may only be elected with the absolute majority of votes. As we have 9 councillors, an absolute majority is 5 votes. Councillors, I now invite nominations for the position of mayor for the 2021 council year.
Happy to nominate Councillor Nation.
Councillor Saipek nominates Councillor Nation. Is there a seconder for the nomination? Councillor Bettiol?
I second the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Bettiol. Councillor Nation, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do accept the nomination.
Thank you, Councillor Nation. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? I'm about to close the nomination. Thank you, councillors. As there's only one nomination, I declare Councillor Nation duly elected as the mayor for Moonee Valley City Council for the 2021 council year. Congratulations. takes place because of COVID rules. Mayor Nation, please dress yourself in the mayor role and the chair.
This one?
Yes. Congratulations.
Dress properly. All right. Thank you very much to my fellow 8 councillors for putting your trust in me to guide us through the first 12 months of this new council. This is an honour, but also a great responsibility. And I commit to working collaboratively with every single councillor to ensure that the community remains at the forefront of every decision we make. Previous council terms have shown that when we work as a team, our city and our residents prosper. And when council is divided, no one prospers, not even us as councillors. So given how challenging this year has been for our city and for our community, it is up to each and every one of us 9 to play a critical role in helping Moonee Valley emerge from a tough 2020 and bounce back as a fair, thriving, connected, green and beautiful city. I'm not originally a Moonee Valley boy. In fact, I spent the first 18 years of my life growing up in Geelong. But this is the city that I've chosen to live in, to start a business in, and a city that I'm proud to call home. It is also a city that my family has a long but transient history with. In fact, my great-great-grandfather, John Parry, was the mayor of the boroughs of Flemington and Essendon in the early 1880s. And when he was mayor, opened the Essendon and Flemington Mechanics Institute on the 21st of September 1880, a building we now know as the Clock Tower Centre. I am very excited to now carry on this family legacy 140 years later. I also want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that has played a role in my personal growth and development over the years. I'm extremely thankful to my parents, Beryl and Roger. I'm grateful for the work ethic I inherited from my father and the personality traits I inherited from my mother, and the opportunities they afforded all 5 of us kids, which has enabled each of us to pursue our chosen pathways. I probably haven't actually ever publicly thanked my parents, so Beryl and Roger, I'm extremely grateful for everything you have done to help me excel and achieve. I also want to thank my partner Mickey, who 6 years ago saved someone in me, who in reality was actually pretty lost. I'm not quite sure where I would be without Mick, but I know I certainly wouldn't be sitting here tonight. And on that note, I do want to highlight the significance of tonight for our city and our LGBTIQA+ community. Tonight is the first time a member of that community has been bestowed with the honour of wearing the mayoral robes. So to the outsiders or those who feel they are different, yes, I may be the first, but I guarantee I won't be the last. Again, thank you, councillors, and I look forward to us delivering positive community outcomes in 2021. Thank you. So, councillors, it is now the time of the evening where we elect a deputy mayor. Again, candidates for deputy mayor must be nominated and seconded. The successful candidate must receive an absolute majority of at least 5 votes. I now call for the nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor for the 2020-2021 council year.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Hodgson.
So Councillor Tyson nominates Councillor Hodgson. Is there a seconder for the nomination? Councillor Sypek.
Happy to second that, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Hodgson, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept the nomination, thank you.
Calling for any other nominations for Deputy Mayor? Should there be no other nominations, I declare Councillor Hodgson duly elected as the Deputy Mayor of the City of Moonee Valley for the 2020-2021 council year. Congratulations, Councillor Hodgson. Councillor Hodgson, I invite you to come up to put on the Deputy Mayoral chain. And Councillor Hodgson, when you return to your seat, you're welcome to address the gallery and your fellow councillors.
Thank you very much, Mayor Nation, and thank you to all of my council colleagues. I want to give you all a big thanks for your support and your confidence in me. It's a very new council with a lot of new faces, mine included, and it's very humbling to have your support for this important role. I'd like to be the first to congratulate our newly elected Mayor, Mayor Nation, who brings years of experience as a councillor to his role, and I'm pleased to be able to support him and have his support as we start this new council term. We believe we share an approach to these leadership roles, and I look forward to learning a lot from him and from all of you. Each one of us is united by a shared love for our community. We believe passionately in the future of Moonee Valley as a fair, thriving, connected, green and beautiful city. I'm so proud to sit in the company of this team of 9 leaders for our community. Over the past couple of weeks, it's been fantastic to get to know each of you, to find mutual passions and to hear about the experiences that we all bring to council. We're a diverse group, and I think the diversity will be a strength for this council moving forward. Each of us is committed to serving the residents and ratepayers of Moonee Valley and making sure that we bring creativity, innovation and collaboration to our decision making. Finally, if you'll indulge me, I'd just like to thank my family again for their love and support and for allowing me to take this journey and be away from the bedtime dramas on every Tuesday night. And to my council colleagues, thank you again for your confidence in me. I'm looking forward to working closely with our Mayor and with all of you to build a strong foundation for this council term so that we can deliver for the community.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hodgson, and I look forward to working with you and the entire team of councillors. Councillors, we now move to reports, and item 7.1 is councillor appointments to committees and external bodies. Councillors, do I have a motion?
I'd like to move an alternative.
Yes, Councillor Isa.
So to read the alternative motion, that Council resolves A, to appoint representatives to external bodies and other committees for the period to November 2021 as follows. Audit and Risk Committee, Councillor Sypek, Councillor Bettio and Councillor Adams. Place, Naming and Civic Recognition Delegated Committee, Councillor Nation and Councillor Sharp, Buckley Ward, as a sub-delegate. Councillor Hodgson, Murnong Ward and Councillor Isa, Murnong Ward sub-delegate, Councillor Sypek, Rosehill Ward and Councillor Tyson, Rosehill Ward sub-delegate, Essendon Airport, Essendon Fields Council Working Group, Councillor Nation, Councillor Sharp, Councillor Adams and Councillor Tyson, Farnham Street Neighbourhood Learning Centre Committee of Management, Councillor Isa and Councillor Hodgson, Wingate Avenue Community Centre Committee of Management, Councillor Hodgson and Councillor Isa. Municipal Association of Victoria, Councillor Sharp and Councillor Byrne, substitute. Metropolitan Local Government Waste Forum, Councillor Tyson and a relevant council officer. Metropolitan Transport Forum, Councillor Bettio and a relevant council officer. Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria Consultative Group, Councillor Isa and Councillor Bettio. Western Metropolitan Tourism Board, Councillor Adams and a relevant council officer.
Thank you, Councillor Isa. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Byrne. Councillor Isa, would you like to speak to the motion?
So just by way of explanation for those at home, as this motion does differ from the officer's recommendation, and you'll have to forgive me, being the first time I'm doing this for live streaming, I'm not entirely sure where I should be looking. So perhaps someone could... hello. Thank you. It's an unusual way to be giving this speech. I apologise. So just by way of explanation, this particular motion does differ from the officer's recommendation by removing the suggestion to establish a planning assessment delegated committee. The officer's recommendation in moving a motion that doesn't take this up, that's not to say that we might not consider this at a future meeting in 6 to 12 months, but I had a concern and have moved this alternative motion to reflect that concern, that the proposal of just one ordinary council meeting and one planning committee meeting per month leaves a long gap between council being able to consider anything other than planning matters. And while council can always call special meetings, that's a little bit more of a process. And I feel it's important for council to be able to remain responsive and flexible for any issues that the community might like us to consider within that month. So the recommended planning assessment delegated committee that was proposed unfortunately wouldn't be able to consider a petition or a notice of motion or any matter that wasn't related to planning. And I certainly felt that a month's gap between council being able to do this was too long a gap for our community, particularly if an issue arose within a couple of days of an ordinary council meeting. There would be a period of some weeks before council might be able to be responsive to that. And now that's not to say that we couldn't establish a planning and assessment delegation committee to meet, especially if there is a real need to make planning decisions in a more timely manner. And I appreciate that the officer's recommendation for the assessment committee reflects some concerns around how the systems may be working within the organisation. And as a council, I'm sure that we can find ways to address that, should that continue to be a concern. And I'd really like to find some ongoing ways to address that. What we could also do, and what's captured by this proposal, I've just lost my spot there. Now, several nearby councillors do in fact do this and have 2 ordinary council meetings and then an additional planning and assessment committee meeting. So Yarra and Port Phillip certainly do that, or as it's indicated on their website. What we could also do, and what's captured by this proposal, is to schedule 2 ordinary council meetings but designate the second of these to planning matters. And I'm anticipating that in 7.2 on the agenda we can do exactly that. And in doing so, hopefully that would meet the officer's need or the officer's desire to perhaps streamline those planning processes and consider all planning matters at a simultaneous meeting. And in 12 months, of course, we could perhaps review these arrangements, see how it has worked, see if it does meet the officer's needs and the concerns that the CEO has put forward, and see if it is working for council. So that's by way of explanation, and I hope other councillors might support this alternative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Isa. Councillor Byrne, as seconder, do you want to address the meeting?
Thank you. Just briefly, Councillor Isa spoke quite comprehensively on the first part of the motion. I suppose the second part of the motion is the representatives to external bodies. They're fairly self-explanatory. We've had the same ones for quite a few years. There's obviously some that are ward-specific and some that aren't. Some will potentially stay the same for the 4 years and others will be rotated year to year. So it's exciting. It's often a chance for councillors to put Moonee Valley in the forefront on a regional and state level. So it's very exciting to have these representatives for Moonee Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Byrne. Does any other councillor wish to speak to the motion? Otherwise, I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? And that is carried unanimously. Report 7.2 on the meeting agenda is the council meeting schedule for 2020-2021. Councillors, do I have a motion?
Again,
Rice?
Mayor, I'd like to move an alternative motion. That Council resolves to A, adopt the following meeting schedule for 2020-21 council year, and these meetings be held via live stream and or at the Moonee Valley Civic Centre, 9 Callaway Avenue, Moonee Ponds, pending COVID-19 restrictions and unless Council resolves otherwise. Bullet point 1, council meetings commencing at 6:30pm on 8th of December 2020, 9th of February 2021, 9th of March 2021, 13th of April 2021, 11th of May 2021, 8th of June 2021, 13th of July 2021, 10th of August 2021, 14th of September 2021 and 12th of October 2021. Bullet point 2, council meetings in brackets designated to planning matters, close brackets, commencing at 6:30pm in 2021 on 28th of January, 23rd of February, 23rd of March, 27th of April, 25th of May, 22nd of June, 27th of July, 24th of August, 28th of September and 26th of October. Third bullet point, council meeting to elect the Mayor and Deputy Mayor commencing at 6:30pm on 28th of October 2021. Fourth bullet point, public forums commencing at 6pm in 2021 on 16th of February, 23rd of March, 20th of April, 18th of May, 15th of June, 20th of July, 17th of August, 21st of September and 19th of October. B, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to amend the 2020 to 2021 meeting schedule as required to accommodate workloads or other special circumstances. And C, request the Chief Executive Officer to ensure that the schedule of council meetings and any meeting date changes are appropriately advertised on council's website in accordance with the governance rules.
Happy to second that, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Isa. Seconder, Councillor Sypek. Councillor Isa, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Just very briefly, and if that tongue twister hasn't warmed me up and got me more used to this, then nothing will. Look, as I suggested in speaking on the previous motion, that the only change in this alternative and the officer's recommendation is the change to bullet point 2, specifying that council meetings be designated to planning meetings as opposed to being planning assessment committee meetings. So in line with what I was explaining just previously, the intention of this motion is that we would have ordinary council meetings twice a month, but the second ordinary council meeting designated specifically to planning matters. And the CEO and Mayor, in preparing the agenda, can work towards that kind of outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Isa. Councillor Sypek?
Nothing further to add.
Thank you. Does any other councillor wish to speak to the motion? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favour? And that is carried unanimously. That is all the business for tonight's meeting. So our next meeting will be on the 8th of December at 6:30pm. As I stated before, I look forward to working collectively as a team of 9 as we move forward to 2021. Thank you very much. Meeting closed.